Hi friends, this is Produce Better Mixes, a channel dedicated to helping aspiring artists, musicians, or producers heal better sounding mixes at home. It's a new year and this is a new channel, and in today's video I'm going to show you a few simple tricks to thicken up your vocal recordings, make it a little bit more exciting so that it pops out of the mix. Now you don't need fancy gear for this. In fact, you can try this right now because most of the Daws that we use has these kind of plugins. So let's jump into the video. I have a vocal take here which I've done a draft mix.
Put my faith in God when it matters most, and I'll hold on to faith even when the pain is more than I can bear.
So you can hear that I've already done some stuff to the vocal to process it, make it a bit more polished so that it sits in the mix. Now the purpose of this video is not to show you a detailed rundown of how to mix a vocal, but rather I want to show you a few tricks that I try after the vocals is already mixed and sounding good, just to thicken it up and make it sound more livelier. But I'll quickly show you what I did to process the vocals. I've got a retune plugin that's similar to auto tune. I've got a de-esser, and then I'm using Slate digital plugins. You don't have to use this, but for the purposes of this recording I am using it. I'm using a digital preamp to add some warmth and a digital console because we're in a home studio. We don't have high-end equipment. I don't have a top high-end mic preamp, so I'm making use of digital softwares. There's other free tube simulation softwares that you could use to add warmth to your vocal takes. So I've got an EQ here. I'm boosting around 8K. I've cut around 3.16Ks to get rid of that a bit of that harshness. I've cut around 798 hertz, and I've also cut around 330 hertz. So I'm not going to go into details as to why I made those decisions, as that's for another video. I've just applied some compression and a limiter, and again I'm not doing too much. I'm just aiming for about 3 dBs of reduction. And then I just got another plugin just to add some brightness and air to the vocals. So that is what I've done to the vocals. So now let's get into these tips and tricks that we can use. The first one is called the vocal double. Now this is one of the tricks that has been used for quite some time by producers, and it's a relatively easy one to do. So if you are the artist or you've got the artist, you can simply ask the artist after you have compiled the lead vocal to sing another double over that lead vocal, which I have done here. And what this does is it thickens up the vocal and adds sort of a chorusy effect. So you can have a listen. I'm going to solo the lead vocal together with the double.
Put my faith in God when it matters most, and I'll hold on to faith.
So if I take out the double,
put my faith in God when it matters most, and I'll hold on to faith even when the pain is.
So you can hear when I bring the double, the vocal automatically sounds thicker, more livelier, and it sounds a little bit better. So you don't want to overdo it with this, as the main focus here is the lead vocal. With any tips or tricks that we use, we don't want to overpower the lead vocal with it. So we just want to bring the volume down a bit until we can just about hear it. So what you can also do to the double is you could add a further chorus effect. Now there's tons of free chorus effects, but I'm using one from Slate Digital, just to make it a bit more dramatic and obvious. And you add in the lead vocal.
Until you come and take us all away.
Okay, so that you could try that and see if it works out. So just to let you know that the same processing that I did to the lead vocal, I did apply that to the vocal double. I just rolled off a bit of the lows so that it doesn't clash with the lead vocal. Okay, so tip number 2 is vocal distortion or vocal saturation. So I've got a copy of the lead vocal onto this track. I've processed it similar to the lead vocal, but once again rolling off the low end. And what I've basically done is I've added another tube preamp here, and I've got the drive all the way to maximum. And I've done the same here on this console emulation. I've got the input all dialed in all the way to max. And then further to that, I've added another plugin here with distortion, and you can hear how that sounds.
Put my faith in God when it matters most, and I'll hold on to faith.
So now in context with the lead vocal.
Put my faith in God when it matters most.
Now, as I said earlier on, we don't want these tricks that we use to overpower the lead vocal, so we're going to bring that down a bit until it just sounds right.
Put my faith in God when it matters most, and I'll hold on to faith, even when the pain is more than I can bear, until you come and take us all the way, all the way.
Okay, so you can hear that it's sounding a bit more exciting. What the vocal distortion does is just adds that harmonics to sitting right in the background so that people won't notice what it is, but it just makes the vocal sound more exciting. The next thing we're going to do is quite a weird thing, and it's going to sound funny at first, but in the context of the mix and the lead vocal, it will make much more sense. And what we're going to use is pitch shifting, and we're going to shift the pitch of the vocal to add a bit of harmonics in the background. So I'm using a free plugin called Repitch, which is native to my DAW, which is Reaper, but you can use any other pitch shifting software for that matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some positive and negative semitones to the pitch, and this is what it sounds like. Firstly, I'm going to add +3, and I'm going to pan this all the way to the right. Let's just solo this track so you can hear what it sounds like. Now I know that sounds weird, but it will make sense just now. I'm going to add another pitch shift, and this I'm going to make it -3, and I'm going to pan that all the way to the left. Then I'm going to add another one, and I'm going to make this 6, and I'm going to keep that pan to the left. We'll add another one and make this -6, and we'll pan that to the right. Let's just add 2 more. We'll make this -9, pan that to the right, and we'll make this +9, and we'll pan that to the right. Sorry, I think I said that. Sorry, I think 5 was panned to the left and 6 is panned to the right. So this is what it sounds like.
Put my faith in God when it matters most.
Now let's bring the lead vocal.
Put my faith in God when it matters most, and I'll hold on to faith, even when the pain is more than I can bear.
Now can you hear that little bit of excitement in the background? I'm gonna take out the pitch and then bring it back on.
Put my faith in God when it matters most.
And let's bring in the saturation and the double.
I'll hold on to faith, even when the pain is more than then I can.
And let's hear that in context of the mix so we can adjust the volumes of these tricks to taste.
Put my faith in God when it matters more, and I'll hold on to faith even when the pain is more than I can bear, until you come and take us all away, all away. Oh, you'll take us all away.
So you can already hear that when I take out these three tracks, the vocal double, the saturation, and the pitch, the vocal sounds are much more flatter and thinner.
Put my faith in God when it matters more.
And then when I bring it back in,
Put my faith in God when it matters more.
sounds much more thicker and livelier. So for the last tip that I'm going to show you, it's quite a simple one. I'm going to go to the lead vocal and I'm just going to widen it up a little bit. I'm going to add a widening plugin. You would have noticed by now that this plugin here does much more than one thing. So for this purpose, I'm going to use it simply to widen the vocal. So the vocal on its own sounds quite narrow, and it sounds like this.
Put my faith in God when it matters more.
If we start to widen it up a little bit,
And I'll hold on to faith.
That's
even
full
when
width.
the pain is more than I.
But we want to bring it back a bit. We don't want to make it too wide.
Put my faith in God.
And now
when
let's hear
it
that with the mix.
matters more. And I'll hold on to faith, even when the pain is more than I can bear.
So just hear that difference. I'm just going to take out the widening plugin and you'll hear the difference.
Put my faith in God when it matters more.
Hear how much thinner that vocal sounds.
And I'll hold on to faith, even when the pain is more than I can bear, until you come and take us all away, all away.
Now bear in mind that this is just a rough mix, and also I have not even added reverb or delays as yet to add depth to the vocal. But this is just to show you how you can simply use simple plugins to make your vocals sound much more thicker, much more exciting, even though you don't have expensive gear like in professional studios. So I hope you found value in that, and if you did find value in this video, you can consider subscribing and leaving a like. You can also leave a comment. Let me know if you tried these tricks before, and also you can let me know what tips and tricks you use to improve your vocal production and make your mixes sound much more exciting. And as I said earlier, and this is a new channel, I'm hoping to grow this channel this year and dedicate it to people like me who's trying to produce music from home, not in possession of expensive gear, but just trying to make music. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.